Alright, hello and welcome to another Why Would You Use. So today we're going to be talking about the Attica, which not that long ago got buffed. And it got buffed to maybe above where it should sit as a kind of new player accessible weapon. But that's fine. It just means that this is an absolutely incredible weapon for new players to go for. Because with this build, which is not really high investment, considering you can't build the Attica until Jupiter because of the neural sensor requirement on Forma. This is a pretty low requirement setup. It's obviously no Forma, and the rarest mod here is going to be Split Chamber. Everything else you should have pretty easy access to. Stormbringer and Infected Clip, if you haven't come across those, honestly they can be replaced with the other 90% elementals, though these would be my preferred. And then Vital Sense obviously might be a little hard for you to get as well. But these types of things, honestly, you can trade for them. By the time you're on Jupiter, you're probably going to be doing some corrupted mod farming, or at least you probably should be. I would highly suggest that. And this is going to be pretty accessible. The hardest thing for you to get would be Endo and stuff, but that's why you're using a rank 6 Serration instead of a rank 10 one. It's a really cheap build to put together, and this clears the level 50 corrupted test we do, or why would you use, actually pretty handily, considering just like this build is nothing special. It is a very, very bare bones basic critical build, and you can absolutely bump this up much higher. Just at face value, you could use a maxed out Serration and 2 more elementals. Even just doing that, you'd have absolutely no problem in sorties, I feel, which is really, really impressive for a weapon that is MR0. So, with that, let's do this test. It's really quite shocking how far the Attica has gone. Also, it's worth noting, for lower level stuff, if you happen to run across the Thunderbolt mod, this weapon does work with that, and yes, it is hilarious, especially with Mirage. For those of you that do not know, Thunderbolt is a weapon that makes your arrows explode, and because this is a weapon that shoots arrows, it totally works. But yeah, this weapon, along with the Zouge, I think is really, really pushing a new player to try a bowgun. Like an automatic bowgun, which is what both the Zouge and this are. They're both really fantastic, and like you should get one of them as a new player. Like it doesn't really matter which, I think they're both really good. But like there's some huge merits to using this thing. And like these are level 50 enemies, and you can get this way before you're even gonna think about seeing a level 50 enemy. Which is part of what makes this so impressive. Like, obviously it doesn't have the kill time of, like, a heck, but you got the range, and that stuff is really important in some cases, like this one. Obviously, getting those headshots are what you're going to want. As you can see, the much increased damage of getting a headshot is incredibly helpful. Yeah. Like, the damage is... It's just really what you would want for this type of fire rate and this type of ranged engagement weapon. Also, it has the weird semi-punch through of a weapon like the Boltor Prime, or the Boltor series in general, which can be a benefit in hallways. So, always good to have that on your side. And although I guess I say it's like the Boltor series, but really it's any bowgun. And I think that's all of the enemies. Yeah, that's all of them. But yeah, it handles it really well. It's really efficient ammo-wise. With a build like this, there's a lot of weapons that don't even really come close to completing this test. It does a lot. It does a lot with what you put in it. I would absolutely say that if you're a new player that has gotten lucky or are like focusing down on cracking every relic you get, and you've got a decent amount of Forma on your hands, throwing 1 or 2 more Forma into this would really make it a huge powerhouse. That could definitely take you all the way through the star chart, no questions asked, which is really, really big. Having a weapon that you can get that early, that is that powerful, is a really nice thing to just have around. And of course, if I'm remembering correctly, I actually have not tested this because we haven't had one in a little while. I'm pretty sure you can take the Attica on bow-only sorties, which makes this a valuable thing to keep around. But yeah, that's the Attica. I'll see you guys tomorrow. A really impressive buff for this weapon. It does a lot more than I expected it to when I saw the stats raw from the buff.